Good morning, everyone. So welcome to the webinar where farmers from Simonga village are going to share with us about climate change adaptation climate change effects and how they've been adapting over the past few years. So they are going to share with us from their personal perspectives how they've been coping, and we hope to learn from them at the end of this. So we're going to start with some opening remarks from the ICOM Zambia president, Mr. Sham Mwinde. So he's going to come to these teams here and give his opening remarks.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Mwinde, the ICOM Zambia president. It's my honor on behalf of ICOM Zambia to join the Livingstone Museum in welcoming you to this morning's webinar under the Conference of Knowledge Across Time project. ICOM Zambia is proud to be part of this initiative, which strengthens the role of museums as spaces of dialogue, learning, and the exchange of knowledge between communities and institutions, especially on pressing issues such as climate change. We look forward to hearing from the farmers of Simonga village, whose lived experience offer important insights into adaptation and resilience. We also extend a warm welcome to all participants joining both on-site and online. We encourage active participation and meaningful engagement throughout the session. Thank you, and I wish you all a successful workshop.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, the director for Livingstone Museum is trying to log in. So in the meantime, we can have some opening remarks from our chair, Nathist Federal Fund.
Okay, I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? No, it's fine. Okay, hello, everybody. Good afternoon from Taiwan. I am the chair of ICOM Nathist Federal Fund. I'm a Taiwanese, so when Nuong Do, our dear secretary, gave me the pictures of Zambia's millet, I thought of Taiwanese millet. Taiwanese millet is now very precious for not just the indigenous communities, but also for most Taiwanese people. 2 weeks ago, I went to my friend's millet fields to help scare away sparrows because they're about to harvest the millet. And because you know that small household farmers, they grow the crops for their family and their communities, and they are willing to practice eco-friendly farming methods. And therefore, they are the guardians of these local crops, our soil, and the culture behind it. But they are also suffering from those extreme weather events most, as we can all experience all over the world in different corners in these recent years. On behalf of ICOM Nathist, I cordially thank ICOM Zambia, thank you, Chair of ICOM Zambia, and Livingstone Museum, thank you, Director of Livingstone Museum, for their efforts in engaging the local farmers. And they are the guardians of our land, and also engaging young professionals into setting up such precious opportunities for us to learn about Zambia's case on how local farmers can help us understand or innovate methods for climate change adaptations. And of course, I have to thank our invited speakers today, the farmers. I know being a farmer, you have very busy schedule. Sometimes you don't have a good holiday. So thank you very, very much for making time for this event for the museum professionals of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Phaedra. So at this point, while we're waiting for the director Livingstone Museum to give her opening remarks, but we've been joined by the director Livingstone Museum, Madam Victoria Piri. So we'll allow her to give her opening remarks. Yeah, welcome to speak, Madam.
Hello, thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to be part of this special event. Sorry that I joined late because I'm traveling. All the same, I want to say good morning to all of you, the guests, partners, and participants. On behalf of the Livingstone Museum, I warmly welcome you all to this morning's webinar. And our project is pleased as Livingstone Museum to host 5 farmers from Simonga village in Livingstone, Zambia, whose experiences will guide today's important discussion. The gathering today provides a valuable opportunity to connect local knowledge with broader conversations on climate change and adaptation. The knowledge and practices shared here remind us that of practical knowledge and allowing a wider participation beyond this room. We thank our partners, including ICOM and NatHist Committee, and also ICOM Zambia Committee for their continued support. I wish you all a very productive and engaging session. Thank you so much.
I think we can move to the introduction of our guests, the farmers, who are going to introduce themselves and what they farm, how big their farms are, and the crops they specialize in.
Nature mwetwa dime murimi kuzwa ku Simonga village. Jisi inyiga igomena kwa 5 hectares. Ndiri murimi wa mapopwe in maira arima nzembwe. Sunflower ndirarima andongo.
I think that's my introduction for today.
Mebo ndiri mulimi wa ku Simonga.
I'm a farmer from Simonga.
Imahinangu ndimena makau Elizabeth.
My name is Elizabeth Namakau.
Ndiralima nyunda yangu ikwana ku imahoro ali 30.
I farm for 30 hectares.
So into endirima
what I farm?
Mapopwe,
maize,
inzembwe,
millet,
bunyangu,
green peas,
ndongwe,
groundnuts, and vegetables. Thank you. My name is Lilian Konjemwemba. I'm a farmer from Simonga village. My farmland is 5 hectares, but we're using 3 hectares. We farm maize,
inyemvu
groundnuts,
abunyangu
green peas.
wamanda tulakuba angombe ihadisi
We are also keeping animals, domestic animals.
swaluma.
Thank you. I'm Besta Ndebele. I'm a farmer at Simonga village. We have 3 hectares. We farm maize, green peas, groundnuts. Sometimes we also farm millet. Thank you. My name is Sande Mtoka. I'm a farmer from Simonga village. My farmland is 5 hectares, but we farm 4 hectares. We farm millet, sorghum, and finger millet. Finger millet. We also farm green peas. Is what? Okay, we farm different crops. That's what I farm in my farm. Thank you.
So that is the introduction from the farmers. I'm sure everyone has seen them. So we can now get into it. And then for those who want to get interactive, you can post your comments in the chat, and then we'll be able to pick them up. And for those who are following through YouTube, you can still you can still drop your comments on YouTube. So right now, we're now going to get into it. We're going to hear the first item on discussion from the farmers, which is some of the challenges which they've been having as a result of climate change.
Mulataliga kwamba mbuli bwimwe mumbomu jana mbuli kuli climate change kuchinja kwa mvula. Due to climate change, in the previous 5 years, we have faced challenges and with water. The animals that we keep have suffered. From there, also diseases in the animals. There's also hunger, where we fail to find a way to live our livelihood because of rains and diseases in the animals. In the past 5 years, a lot of things have changed in our lives because of the climate change. We have reduced in the way we farm. When you farm maize, the harvest is less. Maybe you had planted 20 kgs, you only find 5 kgs. Our animals have started dying because of lack of water and hunger. Every time children are sick and were taken to the hospital because of hunger and water. Our lives have been difficult in the past few years. I think this is what I can say over the climate change that we have seen in the previous years. Thank you. What I can say in the past 5 years, because of the climate change for a long time, it has been found that in 2023, going into 2024, we had few rains. And because of few rains, we had little water and we couldn't manage our animals. Also, the wild animals started coming into our homes because they didn't have food in the bush. So we had a difficulty in our lives, even in moving, because we had elephants. It was difficult to move around. Even children to go to school, we had to escort them. And because of climate change, we had hunger in our homes. And because we had hunger in our homes, when we have us with girl children, we had difficulties because they started misbehaving to find money to feed. This is what I can say over the climate change over the 5 years. Just to add on the previous speakers, because of the change of climate change, it has been found that in the hot season, it is very hot in our village, Simonga village. And because of the being very hot, the schools which are far away, you find that the children, when coming from school, and because of being hot and lack of water, you'll find that they develop temperature. They get sick from headaches. And because homes are very far, they also go with hunger at school because of lack of food at homes. And because of this, we've experienced difficulties in the past few years. And because of the difficulties of the animals lacking water and food, whatever little you find at that time, they get destroyed with the wild animals. In the few years, we found difficulties because of the climate change. Just to add on from my friends, and because of the climate change, we found difficulties in the past few years. The difficulties that we found is because the schools, they never used to go to school. We'd find that the children, maybe yesterday they didn't have food. You find that they won't go to school the following day because of hunger. Because we had a few harvests, that we used to have in the past few years. And we used to have difficulties in the girl children and the boys. The girl children used to start misbehaving. The boy children, they would also start being thieves maybe, so that they can find something to eat. And because of climate change, as parents, we found difficulties to find food for the children and the whole family. It was difficult because of climate change. Thank you. Just to add on my the climate change, the past 5 years has brought us difficulties. The difficulties that I can talk about, it has affected our lives. If I have animals and there's no food for the animals, and if I used to find milk from the animals, meaning the milk is no longer there because of lack of food, it has become difficult to us parents. If you look at the boy children, because of climate change, they become junkies, stealing from people that are just working on their own. All that is a problem towards us parents. If we look at climate change, if a child is going to school without eating, even the uniform cannot be put on properly because of climate change. If we look at the girl child, they might find a boyfriend just to find something to eat. From there, the girl gets pregnant. Because of climate change, and the boy refuses the pregnancy. Me as a parent, it becomes difficult for me to keep both my child and my grandchild. These are some of the things that we experienced. Thank you.
The farmers have just explained how climate change has been affecting them. So we are now going to go to the second aspect of the discussion, where the farmers will tell us how they've been coping to some of these climate change problems which they've been experiencing.
Alimu turajoka kuma farmers mutupandidde alimu buyumuumu. Due to climate change, we started using other ways, like what we learned from our forefathers. Like you get animal dumplings, you put in the fields. You mix and plant pesticides. For example, when you plant maize, you plant together the vegetables. We also plant sunflower. When these plants grow, they mature early. In the time that you think you might start harvesting, the vegetables will start, like the green peas, in a short period of time. These are some of the ways that we started using. Sorghum is good. Even in dry soils, you can plant it. And when the rains come, the plant will grow. We also have trees in our farms that we found from our forefathers. The trees help with the climate change. Like in this time, they have found that they have leaves. The time for planting, when the leaves they drop, we found these trees from our forefathers. They used to use it as manure. Even this time, if you have that tree, you will never buy fertilizer. These trees, we protect them from our villages. If you have them in your farm, they help a lot. Also, these seeds that we plant, like maize, there's a seed we call campedia. It's early mature. This seed, we found it from our forefathers. It's what they've been using. It's a good seed. This same seed, like millet, you can keep it for a long time so that we are unable to buy seed the following year. We'll keep it. We also keep millet, sorghum, maize. We all keep. We don't buy seed the following year. We use the same from our harvest. I think this is what I can say. We are happy in Simonga because we have these trees which help us as fertilizer. We keep these trees and we are going to teach our children. Thank you. The traditional ways that we've learned from our forefathers, we found that like after harvesting, you bury the plants. We can bury the stems so that we can use during planting. When you plant green peas, it helps us to have an early harvest so that the children can have food in their homes. Even if they go to school, they can carry for school. And because of being hot, you'll find that when they are moving, the water is hot. And the way we find them, we help them. If we can't find the bottles, the water bottles, we make traditional bottles to cool the water using sacks so that the water can get cool and they can use as they go to school. Even in the tanks that they use, the water is hot. So if a person takes hot water, it brings problems. Apart from that, we also cook maize, fresh maize, and dry maize. When we cook the maize, it smells good. It tastes like fresh maize to help with hunger with the children. These are some of the ways that we're trying to help our children. Thank you. Just the way they've spoken, my fellow farmers, in mixing these plants from our forefathers, our plants, when we are planting, we mix them. We plant the early mature. We also plant other foods, even green peas, because green peas are early mature. Sometimes the maize might not be ready because of climate change, but these other foods that we plant would be ready. Meaning it helps our children to find food. According to how our forefathers taught us, and following the instructions they left with us, according to the climate change, these are the plants that we plant. When we plant these plants, when we mix them, they help us a lot. The other thing, the other plants might die because of few rains. The other plants can be mature, and it can help us in our families. Thank you. Just to add on from my fellow farmers, a long time ago, our forefathers, there are plants that they used to plant. Sometimes you can plant sorghum. The following, if you plant green peas, again you put millet. At the end, the seed that is called kanjelenjele. All the seeds that I've explained, they are all early mature. According to the past years, due to climate change, if we go back to what our forefathers taught us, you find that it's going to help us in our farms. Children will be able to find food as they go to school. When this food starts to mature, when they want to go to school, we cook for them. They find food to eat. Because of climate change, it has brought us poverty. Those are the few ways that I wanted to add on. Thank you.
Okay, so they just explained to us how they've been using local solutions to try and combat climate change. So we're now going to hear from them again on what they've been taught by government extension officers or any partners on how they can adapt to climate change.
Our government came through to teach us on how to plant our crops. When you dig holes, you put a space. When you plant the seeds, even if it grows, Because of the moisture, it will stay in the hole even if 1 week passes without the rains. The moisture will help. You can also make lines, the lines in the fields, and then you plant in the lines and you bury on top. So that when you plant the seed, it will find moisture inside. We are many farmers. I'll let the other farmers to explain on the farming side. The government has really helped us and it's working. When you dig the holes, when you make the lines, when you plant, you are planting the early mature. So that sometimes rains don't come in 1 month, you'll find that the plants are okay. I've tried for so long and it has really helped me. Thank you. What I can add on? From our technicians that look after farming, they've brought us good ideas. They've taught us the first rains you're supposed to plant. They've also brought us seeds that are early mature. We thank the seed co for bringing our early mature. You'll see that the leaves are green, but the maize is red inside. When you wake up, you find that the maize is dry. They've also taught us, even if you use lines, you don't have to dig the hole. You're going to plant a big area. We are happy because when you are putting lines, you are able to plant a lot of hectares in a short time. We thank you for doing these things for us. I've used the seed co, early mature seed, and I thank Seedco for the 303 seed. This is what I can add on. Also, the government, they've taught us that in the fields, the trees are not supposed to be cut down. So that when the leaves are dropping, when you are done farming and they mix with the soil, so that the moisture can hold. After that, they've also taught us the ways from our forefathers for mixing plants, crops. When we put these vegetables, they also help in retaining moisture. Also, the government, they've encouraged us to plant such crops. You're not supposed to cut all the trees in the field, so that the leaves can help with manure in the fields. You can cut down the other side so that you can plant and harvest. After that, the seeds that we've been using, that we should be using the seeds that we harvest from the fields, because it grows properly according to the time that we are in. I've left for my fellow farmers. Thank you. What my fellow farmers have explained, or digging holes, it helps us a lot. Because even if the rains during our climate change, if you dig the holes, the moisture will not finish in the soil. When you're digging the holes, they have taught us that when you dig your holes, you put manure, animal dumplings, you also put soil, then you put your seeds, and you bury a bit. When the rains come, the water will stay in the hole. Even if there's climate change, if the soil is dry, that water will stay in the hole. Even if it's difficult, we find difficulties in digging the holes that we've been taught by the technicians. Some people, they don't manage to use those ways. Those that use lines, they use them. Those that use holes, they dig them. Others, they fail because there's too much labor. But according to the way they've taught us, we have to help to try. On the other side, you try, because it helps in harvesting. And the seeds as well that we use, we should use the seeds that our forefathers left, because that seed have different weights. Someone can use the other seed on a big field, and the other one uses the other seed. The weights are different. Thank you. Just to add on what my fellow farmers have said, the farming due to climate change, we have to change our ways of farming. So the way the rain's finished, we are supposed to bury leaves. When the time comes, when we start making lines, on the other side, the way my farmers have said, you plant the other seed. When we plant the early mature or the green peas, as it is raining, they are growing. Even our farming pattern will change. The way it used to rain, it has changed. If we go deep in the villages, there are trees that are cool. Those trees are not supposed to be cut down. When the leaves are dropping, they give us manure. So you find that the maize are big, the crops are big. This is how we are farming due to climate change. Things have changed. I thank you.
Very interesting aspects explained by the farmers. So we will now move to hearing some of the challenges they've been having, since they've explained that they know they have some methods which have been explained to them by the government, extension officers, and also other partners. And then also they've been taught things by they were taught things by their grandparents and by their forefathers. But we're now going to get to some of the challenges they've been facing in implementation in some of these ideas which they know. So we're going to get to pass through some of the challenges they've been having, which are hindering them from implementing what they know.
Farmers in Simonga village, they don't have much knowledge. There are few people that have got knowledge. So if people are taught, they may start using the government methods. We thank the government because they came to teach us, but they came just once and they left for a long time. For people to know, they are unable to be taught. There are a few that learned. From there, we lack equipments to use in farming. Because of due to climate change, you find that we lost a lot of animals. The equipment that they used to use for farming, they don't have. It has become a challenge because of the animals that we've lost. Even the chicken dumplings that we used to use, we are unable to keep chickens because we don't have enough food. It has become a challenge for farmers to farm. The way our forefathers used to teach us, to get animal dumplings to take in the fields, it used to be easier when we had animals because the rains used to rain properly. We would have enough dumplings and would even leave some, and would never buy fertilizer. But this time around, it's a challenge. So we request the government to come and help us to teach farmers on methods to use to have more knowledge on how to farm during climate change. We have failed to do them because a lot of people don't have equipment to use in farming. We would like help on equipment to use in our farms. You can teach the farmers, but they are unable to use the methods because they don't have equipment to use. So we need help. What I can add on? Yes, we have knowledge that our forefathers left us and the government at large. But as for me, what I don't use, like for us to dig holes, and I'm digging for 3 hectares. For me to dig this holes in the 3 hectares, the soil texture, it becomes difficult for me because for you to finish 1 hectare. So that one is difficult for me. We also lose seeds. When you plant early, according to what they advise, you put your millet, the millet. This is the millet. This millet, these grains, they are small. Our forefathers tell us that they are early mature, but we are looking at the sacks. For you to harvest 50 bags, you have to plant a big space. That's why we don't mind them to plant them. That's why we plant maize, because the millet grains are very small. For you to harvest 1 bag, you have to plant a big space of land. So we've stopped using these methods. But it really helps us, but we fail because it's difficult to have enough harvest. We also go back to the same things that they've stopped us from doing. Sometimes you plant in dry soils and you are scared to lose your seeds. Then the rain goes. Those seeds, they dry up. Again, you think that I'm going to lose the seeds. So we fail to use the methods that we've been taught because of that. Thank you. Just to add on, if we use traditional seeds, you find that the traditional seeds, people have stopped using it because they've been introduced to modern seeds. Because the traditional seeds are few, but people have started seeing the goodness of them. They've started using them. This is one of the difficulties that we find in farming. When we come to knowledge of using lines to plant, we find difficulties because of a small family. Therefore, using lines becomes difficult because there are few people. Therefore, they'll need to find people to help. And what if they don't have money to give people to help? They go back to the old way of farming. The knowledge that we are taught becomes difficult for us to use because of lack of resources. Thank you. Just the way my fellow farmers have spoken, we have difficulties because of the method of digging holes or the lines for planting. Because when we dig the holes, we plant. When we just finish planting, the seeds, they grow. They grow together with the weeds. It becomes difficulties for farmers to use that method because of there's too much labor to weed. Because the weeds and the maize, they grow together. Maybe weeds and green peas grow together. It becomes difficult for farmers to use that method. But it is a good method because it has good harvest. That's why during our farmers, despite being taught on how to farm, maybe you'll find a good harvest. A lot of farmers, they fail. They use the old methods. We use the old methods in planting because of the labor for weeding. Thank you. Just to add on from my fellow farmers, we have a lot of challenges because farming is not something easy. When I look at the areas that we are staying in, we didn't want to farm. But the challenges that we find are equipments for farming. We don't have equipments for farming. We lost a lot of animals in the past few years. So if you don't have animals that you have, animals help us in farming. This climate change has brought difficulties. Having animals is something important because when you have, it's easy for you to farm. If you don't have animals, it's difficult to farm. If the government can help us we are going to harvest. Thank you.
So we've heard some of the challenges that the farmers have been having, which have been hindering them from implementing some of the knowledge, ideas which they have. So we're now going to get to a more interactive part of the workshop where you can ask questions, and then the farmers or anyone who is supposed to answer can answer those questions. So the floor is now open for that session. So maybe as she is making a comment, maybe I can talk about a little bit of the background of this study. So the workshop comes as a result of the study. I'm sure it was provided in the supplementary information for this. It comes as a result of study which was done in 2024 up to 2025, where the farmers were engaged. Farmers from Simonga village were engaged on some of the effects of climate change and some of the solutions, local solutions and nature-based solutions they've adopted in order to adapt to climate change. So over 100 farmers were interviewed. Then from those 100 farmers, that is where there is this small group which has been brought so that they can give a more in-depth explanation on some of the things we talked about in 2024. So that is the background to this workshop. I just realized we didn't talk much about the background in case people missed the supplementary files and information which was provided.
If you want, I can read the message.
Okay. So Nwando, Michela is now online. She can also read. If it's possible for your colleagues to broadcast the sounds.
Yes, she can read, and the sound will be broadcasted.
Okay, sure.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? I think so. And dear friends and colleagues, it's an honor to be here with you as a board member of ICOM Sustain. And I bring you the greetings from our chair, Maureen Rees, and vice chair, Lucimara Letelier. And together with ICOM Natis, we believe in this SAREC project and we support it. I'm speaking from Torino, north of Italy, Piedmont region, also the land of the well-known Carlo Petrini, who passed away in May, unfortunately, the founder of Slow Food and Terra Madre International Movement. But bring these two movements, Terra Madre movements, bring together each year local farmers from around the world in Torino to share experiences for a good, clean and fair food for all. I was in Zambia in November 2024 and I visited a little bit of your amazing country, and I was in Livingstone for the conference Museum Leadership in the 21st Century, Regional Challenges and Global Impact. Organized by ICOM Zambia and participated by ICOM Sustain and ICOM Natist. We ran together a workshop dedicated to directors of many African and European museums on the tool of the Action Plan for Sustainability that is also present in the strategic plan of ICOM. And this tool can help to improve sustainability within museums and with attention to areas such as governance, strategic vision, leadership, resourcing, networking, and partnership. and tools for monitoring, evaluating, and communication for sustainable development and sustainability. And the focus there was on the strategies to address climate justice and human rights. Regarding this SAREC project and this webinar, we are very aware of the importance of sharing experiences and best practices and how culture and museums can help to improve and share knowledge about sustainability and regenerative practices in the local communities. We pay attention to the dynamic nature of traditional ecological knowledge and emphasize that biodiversity preservation must go hand in hand with the survival of cultural communities, and position museums as civic platforms for communities to reclaim traditional knowledge and participate in environmental advocacy. It has been an honor to listen to your interesting case studies. With your work and traditional ecological knowledge, you are introducing solutions, and in particular nature-based solutions, to improve practices to preserve biodiversity and adapt to climate change that are crucial to agriculture and to produce food for your communities. And biodiversity and nature-based solutions are not only biological data, but heritage of living beauty, understood as an interweaving of forms, relationships, and meanings that demand attention, study, and practice. Today, we must put attention and pay attention and caring for the fragility of the living, opposing to the blind exploitation of natural resources, and recognizing that every act of traditional knowledge can also be an act of love and conservation. The practices that you presented remind us that we are not made to destroy, but to know, cherish, and narrate the many forms of biodiversity and solutions in the world, to protect and enhance through multidisciplinary approaches. Before leaving, I would also like to share with you a research that we carried out here in Italy between the University Bicocca in Milano and ICOM Italy on museums, culture, biodiversity, and food systems. I leave to you in the chat the links both for an online exhibition, and you can see the exhibition online, and also an open access book. And thank you very much, and may God bless you and your families and communities. I wish you all the best for your futures. Thank you. My name is Michela Rota, and on behalf of ICOM Sustain.
Well, we'll now move to some of the questions that have been brought up. Okay, so I'll put the questions there, and then they will be answered by the farmers. So the first question is, what is the tree that helps and can act as fertilizer and helps retain water? Okay, I'll let the translator just translate directly for them, since she can see the questions in the chat.
There's a tree called Mionga. Acacia. If you have that tree in the fields, you have good yield, because the acacia leaves, they retain moisture. Just to add on the acacia leaves, they work as top and down base of fertilizer. You'll find that people that have those trees in their fields, they don't use fertilizer. This tree helps in retaining moisture and giving manure to the crops. Thank you. The same acacia tree, if you have it in the field, even if there's little rains, you can have a big harvest. Because I've seen, and it has helped me, even if there are few rains, you have high yields in the farms. Thank you. Just to add on, the acacia tree is a good tree. In the field that I'm farming, I have a lot of these trees. If I say that last month, that's when we stopped eating the vegetables because of the moisture, because it would still grow under the trees. Thank you. Just to add on my fellow farmers, when I looked at this tree, we don't just know how we can do to plant it the whole Zambia, because when it rains, the moisture will still be there for a long time. This tree, the government must look into it. Maybe they can help in planting it everywhere. It's not difficult to grow. When you just spread the seeds, they grow. We're requesting the government to look into it. Thank you. Just to add on the acacia tree, it's also good. The acacia biscuit helps with the animals. They use it as food. If we have a way, we can be planting these trees in our farms, it would be good. Thank you. Okay, so sometimes zisamu zisamu ingazeta tuyuni tuyatulaza kukala musisamu, so maybe tuyuni again tutalika kulya mbulize mbwe, so mubuzi onga kuti mwalinonga mwaba apenzeli yakuti since kuli zisamu ziya zilimu munda tuyuni twaza kuzolya mbuli nzembwe mwaka bako a problem iliso. A long time ago, the way our forefathers were teaching us, when you're planting millet in the fields, we put plastics to chase away birds. When the birds sees the plastics, they don't come to sit on the trees in the fields. They'll be outside the fields. Just to add on, the birds, they come because of the trees that are in the fields. But concerning the millet, we have two types. We have two different seeds. There's a type of seed which the birds, they don't eat. The other type, they get eaten by the birds. Therefore, we use the plastics to chase away birds. Also, there are times when the birds that they come in the fields, like in the morning and in the evenings. Therefore, we know that we have to go early in the fields to go and chase away the birds. We also go there in the evenings so that we chase away the birds and to protect the crops. These are the ways that we protect our crops. Just to add on, if the crop has already grown, even if there are trees in the field, our job is to chase away birds, because we've already seen the youths. So, sometimes we use bells to chase away animals. Just the way they've said that they only come at times, they don't come all the time. So as the trees wouldn't be a problem, because it's our job to chase away birds. Thank you. Just to add on, when we're growing up, because some fields were very far from home, so we used to share. We would move and stay in the fields just to chase away birds. Because the odd seeds that we used to use before, all the seeds that we used to use would be eaten by the birds. But this time around, because of the new seeds that we have, that they've taught us, it's called lubasi. So those birds that are found in the fields, when they try to eat the millet, they'll find that they'll be affected. So the new seed is a good seed, because we don't have much labor to chase away birds. The other seed, you have to exchange. Yes, so they would use bells to chase away the birds. Thank you. Just to add on my fellow farmers, when I was still young, 1982, somewhere 83, when I was in the copper belt, when my mother comes here, she used to get millet and take to the copper belt. When we plant the millet, in the morning we'd go to the fields. We used to make little things like boats. When we start beating the boats and the animals, the birds would be chased away. And in the evenings again, we'd go. With the same small boats, would play them. If the birds are seated in the animals, we'd chase them away. That's what I can add on.
Okay, so the second question has also been answered. So I can see people are typing more questions as follow-up. So let me read what has been, or I'll let the translator read what has been posted, and then they will answer the question.
When we have few rains, in our villages. If we have enough rains, those water which sit in the dams, it would only stay maybe for 2 months only. The animals that we keep, where we take them to drink water, for example, the cows, where we take them to drink water, when those dams are dry, that's where we face challenges. Even as a human being, if you stay for a long time without drinking water, it becomes a problem. We don't have where to store water so that we can keep our animals. Just the way my fellow farmers spoken, when we talk about rains, when we have enough rains, we don't use the same hand pump for animals to drink water. There are places where we take our animals, where there are dams, which keep water as long as 6 months. The animals will be drinking from there. Some dams can store water until the next rain season. But the time we are talking about, when we had few rains, we had to share in the hand pumps for our animals to drink. This is what we meant with we didn't have water. When we say we didn't have water. The way the question has come about water, because of the area that we are in, we find that we have few water. When we have little water, we have to share on hand pumps. You find that when we are pumping water for the animals, there will be shortage with water for people to use in homes. There are NGOs that help us putting hand pumps. You'll find that some pumps use solar. When the water goes into the tanks, just for you to share between humans and animals, it becomes little. It's not enough. It brings difficulties to humans and animals. Just to add on, if we have little water, we have challenges. Just the way they've spoken, we have congestions at the hand pumps because the goats, the cows, that's where they drink water from. In the dams, if we don't have water in the dams, when we have mud in the dams, we have difficulties when we take the animals to mud water. You find that the animals, they get stuck in the mud. But when we have enough water, I think it becomes easier for farmers. Thank you. Just to add on to what my fellow farmers have spoken, water is very important. The time we had climate change, even in the hand pumps, water will not be near. It will take time for water to come out, maybe 10 minutes at max. And it was a challenge because humans and animals will have to share the same water from the hand pump. This is where I end.
There is another question. Okay. So I'll allow the translator to read it and then translate for the farmers.
According to the education of the children, we thank the government in a way that they've helped in put boreholes in certain schools, though it's not enough, but we don't have enough water yet. When we come to the museum, they can help us in a way that they can, like coming to schools, educating our children on the benefits of education. They come to our villages so that they can see certain things, because it's easier for children in towns to come to the museum because it's near. It's easier for fewer people to go to where there are a lot of people in the villages, unlike getting children from the villages to bring them to the museum. The museum can manage come to our villages to come and educate our children. Would be a good idea. Thank you. Just to add on, concerning our children, if we can bring other resources that they can help, if they can be kept busy, like if they can be involved in certain activities, it would help in the girl child to avoid certain vices. Also in schools, the government have helped our children with food, but it doesn't mean when they eat at school, they are full. The food is not enough at school. If there can be more food, we can be helped in that area so that they have enough food. We have children that are in school at this moment, but the challenge is food. As parents, if there can be a way to be helped that children can find food at home before they go to school. We also have children, boy children that have finished school, but they are just home because they don't have anything to do. If we can request the government or the museum so they can introduce skills for boy children, like skills for agriculture, it can really help our children to know what agriculture is, on how to find food, on how to keep water. It is a good thing in our village to teach people on how to sustain water in the villages, on how to farm as well. If our youths can be taught skills, they can share their knowledge to other farmers as well, to reduce on hunger and sustain water. Thank you. Another thing that I want to add on, the climate change, we should not concentrate on farming alone. Farming is in different ways, like keeping of animals and farming of crops. If we can educate people not to be farming one thing, let's diversify in the farming, animals, and crops, or any other method of farming, so that if farming which requires water is not possible, we can use other ways of farming. Thank you. Just to add on, it's true we thank the government for the water that they are bringing closer to homes, even if it's not yet enough for everyone, but we thank the government that they are making an effort. We're also requesting the museum, if they can come to the villages, teaching our children, even the elders, would really be thankful. Thank you. Just to add on my fellow farmers, according to the question, our boy child, according to the regional say, okay, according to the traditional riddle, those children that are growing are the future leaders of the country. We're requesting the museum to come to our villages to come and teach our children certain skills. Maybe those bad vices that they've been doing may come to an end and they'll concentrate on what they are being taught. I've grown old. I've grown old where I am. I've less activities. Maybe the children that are growing might be of help to the government. Thank you. Closing remarks on our side as farmers. We are thankful that you've brought us here, that we are able to talk, to speak according to climate change and how it's been affecting us. We are also learning according to these meetings that we are having, according to the challenges that we've put across and what we've requested, that our children can be helped in skills. We would be glad that maybe tomorrow we might have knowledge on how to keep water. I thank the museum, I thank the moderator to bring us here to come and share our challenges. I thank you. I'm also thankful for such meetings. This climate change might be for a long time. So if we can be reminding each other in these meetings, it would help us on how we are going to survive during this climate change. How is it going to help us when we do these meetings? We thank you that you are able to call us here for this meeting. It's going to help us on how we're going to manage the climate change in our communities. Thank you. I would like to thank for this opportunity. This is we are able to explain how climate change has affected us. We thank such groups that they can continue in teaching us so that our old ways can work hand in hand. We thank you. I'm thankful for this meeting today. In this meeting that we had today, we thank God that we're able to be here, to come and be here and learn. I thank you. Maybe in these interactive climate change meetings, maybe our children maybe reduce in doing bad vices. Our boy children might have eaten maybe 2 days ago. They'll go to a bar and drink alcohol, maybe they'll feel better. We are requesting the museum if they can come in our communities to teach skills to our children. It will make our children busy. Instead of going to the bar, the child may be busy with their skills that they learn. We thank you. Just to add on, we thank you for the knowledge. Among all the things that we've requested, we thank God that these things may come to pass in the coming days. It shouldn't take long because this would be a good thing for our communities because of the climate change. We thank you. May God bless you.
Okay, they're done giving their closing remarks. So now we can hear from Michaela. I've been told that she has something to say in concluding.
Nicola, so basically here, everyone is providing the closing remarks, and we wonder if you would like to also provide brief feedback on our discussion today.
Dear all, I have just read my remarks before here. I just to thank you all for the opportunity that we are having to share and listen to your experiences and trying to help and support this kind of project through culture. And hearing your struggle and the way in which you are trying to overcome this climate change situation and drought, lack of water and biodiversity is kind of inspiring. It's something that is affecting local communities all around the world, especially in marginalized countries and local communities. So it's such an honor to be here and trying to support with this project. Really thank you for your presentations and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michaela. So now we'll hear from closing remarks from our chair, Nathist Fedra.
Once again, I would like to thank all the farmers and also all the Living Museum staff, including our technical staff and our interpreter for this 2 hour long discussion. I know for our invited farmer speakers, you have been rehearsing and being preparing for this event. And thank you for your knowledge and your very genuine sharing experience. I feel this a bit the same. I have to say I am not from a farming family, but in Taiwan, there was a severe typhoon or hurricane happened in 2009. And because that hurricane it's so extreme, a lot of the soil in the mountains were just washed away. And so people who used to rely on agriculture, they sort of lost their purpose. It took them a very long time to recover. And they're all small scale farmers. And we know it's very difficult because unlike big scale farmers that you can easily find people to buy your product, you have to manage this your soil with different kinds of crops. Um, but I think one of the key is the connection with people. In addition to what you said, modern knowledge on handling climate change, but also the connection with people, especially different farmers working together, sharing seeds. This is such an important connection. But there's something I am not able to answer, and that is the connection between generations. Your generation, you have the knowledge from the older generations, and now it seems that there is an obstacle for you to pass your knowledge to the younger generations who also is very lost in this age of climate change. And I genuinely hope that museum in the world in the future will be able to provide you with resources that will help them find a purpose and most importantly help them connect with their family members and with their soil. And it is very touching when you said that you wanted the museum to visit your village instead of you want your children, send your children away, because that's what happened in my place, my country. And children are leaving the villages. There's nobody inside the village, young people inside the village to help with agricultural work. Only old people left in the village. And so although now older people stick together, growing crops with success, but they are dying. And so this is a problem we are facing here. The population is decreasing in the village. And so I hope all the best for the Simonga village. And I'm not sure what we can do to help with this seminar, but we will make sure that this seminar is properly post-edited so that everybody's words are probably heard, and they will be published online and shared with other museum professionals within our community. And hopefully we'll be able to solicit more thoughts, ideas, and resources for Simonga Village. So thank you again.
Phaedra. So we're thankful to the farmers once more for coming and sharing about their climate change issues and how they've been adapting. We're also grateful to our partners, other ICOM committees, the Livingstone Museum, ICOM Zambia, and everyone who helped to make this workshop a success. So for now, we've come to the close of the webinar or workshop. We thank you all for being online the whole time to watch, and we thank everyone for attending physically. Thank you very much.